So let's look at the idea of force. Force as a definition is the thing that causes an object to accelerate that we happen to see, that we got to discuss in the previous video. Now, we can also define force as an agent that changes or tends to change the state of rest or of uniform motion or the direction of motion. Again, the same thing over here, whatever we discussed. This, I mean. Or a force which I missed over there, one thing which I missed. Force can also change the shape and size and so on and so forth. Right? Next, we have an overview of force. So force can be contact force and non-contact force. There can be many force acting on an object, and what concerns or what we deal with is your net force. Net force is a resulting force that we will discuss. I think it's there in the flow. Oh yeah, it's here. So we have under forces, we have contact force and non-contact force. What are contact force? Let's discuss now. What do you think are contact force? You guys have studied all this. Contact forces are forces that are in touch, physical touch, or in contact with the other object. You can feel the other object. Contact forces are those forces. Non-contact forces are far away forces. So, as in, we don't see them touch, but we can feel their push or pull. What are the examples of contact force? Contact force is your muscular force, friction, and all of those. Non-contact force are forces wherein you are looking at magnetic force. I think you guys know electrostatic force as well. So all of those are non-contact force. So basically, if you take up two magnets, even though they are apart, you can feel the push or the pull, right? So those are your non-contact force. Okay. So we are going to deal with throughout your 11th and 12th, both the forces are what is dealt with. One thing that you need to remember is for any kind of force, all the things that you study over here is applicable. Okay. All the things that we learn is applicable from these set of videos. Now, what is this net force? What is the concept of net? Where have you heard the word net? Net is the result basically. Net is like sum total and basically the gist per se. So net force or total force or the resulting force, unbalanced need not be actually. So the net force acting on an object is defined as the vector sum of all the forces acting on the object. So basically, if an object is there, if we have an object, there are many forces acting on it. For example, I'll just do this. Say 2 Newton of force is acting and say 1 Newton of force is acting. So in place of 1 and 2 Newton, can I tell the object is experiencing a force of 3 Newton? Right? As a whole, we can tell the object is experiencing 3 Newton of force. This is your example of net force. This is an example. This is the original case. So whenever you get to see many forces, I can always replace that with one force. That is your net force. We'll see a lot of question on this, don't worry. So the entire chapter has to do with that itself. But here the key word is vector sum. It's not your ordinary sum, it's a vector sum. Again, for this to be understood very clearly, you have to have a clear grip on vectors. And finally, what are the fundamental forces in nature? I think I have it here. Okay. 1 minute. I'll show it to you guys. So we're looking at the fundamental forces now. So we have gravitational force, electromagnetic force, weak force and strong force. Gravitational force, the cause is mass. electromagnetic force, the charge is electrical charges. Weak force, it's a certain radioactive decay process, and strong nuclear force is subatomic particles. So these are the forces and these are your causes. Okay, mass, electrical charge, certain radioactive decay process, subatomic particles are the causes of the respective forces. Okay, guys. So again, let me just start off. We are looking at forces. Forces are the one which kind of causes an object to change its state of motion, or force can tend to do that, or it will change the shape, size, and so on and so forth. So in entirety, from here on, we'll be talking about many forces, but end of it, it's a net force that we have to look into. From the point of view of net force, we will get to go to acceleration. So post this, we'll get to C, and from here, we get to see acceleration. Okay, so that's why post your net force only we get to say acceleration, and from there you will get to talk about velocity and then one dimension or two dimension motions and so on and so forth. Okay, yes, this is the entire funda. That's why we need to know net force, and for that we need to know vectors, and that's where the whole story starts from, maths, right? And then we looked into fundamental forces. So all of this we'll be studying directly and indirectly in time. Okay, yes. So yeah, you can pause and write few things down. Under forces, we'll get to see contact and non-contact force and the concept of net force. And next that you need to know is net force details. And then we need to understand fundamental forces. An overview, that is.